that's it. I think that we're live now. Hi everyone. We have no viewers yet. We are going to let some people trickle in, and Spicks will be here to join me in just a few minutes. Moments, maybe? Probably not a few whole minutes. So we are trying to go live every Thursday at 6:30. That's the time for right now. If there's a time that comes back that is better, we will do that instead. But for right now, we are going to be live every Thursday at 6:30 to discuss all sorts of things and to interact with you. So that way we can get to know you better and you can get to know us better, and we can all have a grand old time on Thursdays. Oh cool, we have a viewer already. Yay. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Drop a hi, let us know that you're watching. We are waiting on Spicks to come and join us. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We are trying to make this a regular thing, just to kind of get us a little bit more familiar with video, get us posting regularly, which is a goal for this year. Super important in a business like ours. Bumped my table there. Sorry, I just have like awkward jitters now. And here's Spicks, so he will hop in here and then we will be able to talk to each other as well as to you. We still don't have any comments yet. Everyone's being a little bit shy, and that's okay. We have been doing a couple of things this week. We worked on photographing a real estate business, large Wells Fargo building down in Missouri City.
Hello everybody. Sorry, I had to get something to eat, and of course I waited until right as we went live to go grab something.
I can't figure this out.
That's fine.
There you go.
I want to be on the dark side. There
Oh,
we go.
look at you.
Okay.
Thank you. Did it up tonight.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, client Shannon.
That's not your client.
But yeah, as Red was saying, we got to photograph a commercial real estate building, Wells Fargo Bank, and giant commercial complex this week. That was fun. Today we went out for one of our magazine projects and photographed a school up on the northwest side, private school, and took classroom photos and basketball playing photos and a bunch of stuff for their, well, for the magazine, but also for their website and for their brochures. So it'll be a fun little project. And then we went to a network event today. Just went and met some people and tried to tell them how awesome we are.
It went pretty well. People were impressed.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to this week? Shannon, I know you're still struggling.
Yeah, sorry, I'm blinking a lot.
You're good. We're still new to the going live thing, so.
We're still very new,
What is that string?
and we're still learning.
Anybody who has been to our studio knows that we have this, this yellow rug that is made up of 1,000 little strings. Yes, Zach. And these strings are all over the nation at this point. We've got them in Kentucky and Florida and New Orleans, basically everywhere.
Yep.
We tried to get rid of it, but then one day it just showed back up as a giant pile of strings.
We don't know. Yeah, no employee yet, Shannon. That sucks.
Yeah.
We don't have an employee yet either. We are looking to grow our business. We're looking to hire somebody else. We're looking for a lead generator.
Yeah. Those of you that might know, Matt has been handling a lot of our business development, but there's only so much that you can do for talking to people. It's kind of counterproductive to also spend all your time reaching out to people. So now we need someone to reach out to people so that Matt can sell them. So if you know somebody that's looking for a good part-time, possibly more, I guess it's all part-time until it hits full-time, right? So whatever. Part-time position, let us know.
Definitely. And let us know, or if any of you watching now or later are looking for a side hustle, hit us up. Let us know. This could be a good fit for you.
You know, if you're into creative work.
If you're into that sort of thing. Which, if you're viewing this, I assume that you are. And I bet that's a pretty valid assumption. Oh, cool. We've got some shares going on, some people viewing. This is great.
Yay.
We are killing the live game.
What else has happened this past week? So we went live last Thursday. We kind of gave everybody a rundown of what has happened in the past year. Needless to say, we can't cover it all, so we might cover a couple more things today. But kind of the eventual goal is going to be, let's answer some questions, give people some advice. Yes, I'm pretty sure that you can share that. We made a job posting on the Spicks Photography page. Feel free to share that.
Yeah, share it everywhere. That would be great.
We're trying to get somebody quick.
Definitely need someone.
So let's see. Thursday we went live. I need to look at the calendar. This past couple months have just been.
Hi, Jem. Thanks for popping in.
Hello. This past couple months have just been go, 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 and suddenly it's the first of the month and rent is due. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. It's not even like in the creative industries, and pretty much anyone that works for themselves already knows that, you don't work Monday through Friday and suddenly have a weekend. You might not do anything
Always.
Tuesday and Wednesday and then work all weekend long, or you might have 20 jobs on Friday and nothing the rest of the week. It's kind of a mess. But the past 2 to 3 months have just been, I don't know what day it is. We don't know what week it is.
Yeah. It's like just consistently been Monday. Hi, Spencer. Hi, Spencer. Doing well. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. We had a great day at the lake last year with Jem and the family, and got lots of amazing photos. People jumping off the boardwalk and stuff.
Yeah,
really fun stuff.
Getting to do a whole family shoot of it's fun when we get to actually share time with people, and it's not just show up for an hour and let's quickly knock out all the photos that you have to get, but it's a little bit more like we're going to go just have fun for an afternoon, and we get to tag along and capture it all. Oh my God. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And not to mention, go out on a boat, get to swim some, splash a lot, swing on the swings.
Yeah.
Life is hard.
It was a rough day. No, it wasn't. It was a wonderful day. And we like having days like that where we get to just spend time with family.
And I know that I have a lot of photographer friends that are following and whatnot. This week has actually been a lot more of the admin side of things, dealing with the Google ads and Facebook ads and trying to get everything streamlined and creating content for those. We have magazines that we run ads in and creating the monthly sort of like specials, and then the pages on the website that correspond to the specials with QR codes so people can get to them. It has just been like the back end nightmare. Plus editing everything. Brianna is still well, no, we have everything for Brianna. Her New Year's shoot is live. She's been posting up on Instagram, but we're trying not to post the shots that she's going to post before she posts them, so they'll slowly start linking out to Instagram
They'll start
soon.
trickling soon.
Yeah. And yes, Shannon, no alligator bites. We did not go to, well, we did go to Beaumont, so I guess there could be alligators there. What else?
We have Valentine's Day coming up. We have a special going right now that if you book your session before February 14th, you get an extra $100 of print credit. So let your friends know.
It doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. It can be family or something. It's just our Valentine's Day special. What's your favorite part of the photography process?
I like being on set. I like being on set with people and interacting with them and helping to create a safe space for them to be themselves in front of the camera, and sharing a couple of good laughs, getting some of those kind of like candid shots of just people, really big belly laughs or whatever it happens to be. That's what I like. What about you?
In line with that, I like I don't know. It's fun seeing the reactions. Anytime you get to, plan everything out, and then you finally get to go over and show someone the camera, and then just watch them kind of get super excited about what they saw. Besides, that validation of what we do, I'm a photographer, and it would really be horrible if you just never got anybody that was like, "Oh, your work's good." But besides that part, the sort of the planning, the getting everything together, that little kind of rush before any shoot when Red's like, "Hey, what stuff do we need for today's shoot?" And you start mentally going like, "Okay, well, there's going to be 4 people. We're shooting outside. There's a tree. It's going to be at 2 o'clock. It's facing north. Where's the sun going to be coming from? What kind of light do we need to take out there to match it?" Like, sometimes the planning can be a lot of fun. And then also just coming from years of graphic design side of things and photo editing, there is a really fun aspect of kind of getting to play God. Red used to joke about how her favorite thing was to sit and watch me edit, because you just get to, I don't know, control everything.
I had an ex who would play Sims a lot, and I loved watching her play Sims, because she would just like really get into it, and she would just be like, "Yes, I am your god," and just like manipulating the world and doing all of this stuff. And I was just kind of like, I'm so into this. Like, I don't play Sims, but like I am into watching you play Sims, and then seeing him edit. It's like the same kind of rush. I'm just kind of like even photos where like you go and like swap out the sky or completely remove a person from one area of the photo and add them into a different area of the photo, like these wild magical kind of things that are happening like right in front of my eyes. And like, I don't know how to do any of that stuff, but I really enjoy watching it.
Another part of my job is also just editing other people's work. And one thing that was kind of fun last year, we had someone that went to Peru back to go to Machu Picchu, and they sent us all these photos that they took. But I mean, they were tourists, and they went during tourist times, and there's a million people everywhere, and kind of going back through these photos and just wiping out all of those people.
Editing out people.
And kind of rebuilding the scenes and doing things like that,
Saying,
or
I don't like this brick being that color. I'm gonna make it more tan. Like, or there's this like little like brush, this like little bush that's right here, and it doesn't look good. So I'm just
Yep.
gonna take it away.
No more bush.
No more bush.
Now we're gonna paint happy little trees. That, and then like this, I guess last week we got to build two movie themed images where we, take pictures of people and then collage them together and turn them into like movie posters that fit their desires. That was a lot of fun. One was Dallas themed and one was very Avengers themed. Those were both a blast to edit.
Fun little composites to do. Yeah, composites are fun.
Yeah, dark brown bricks. I don't know, like whose idea was that? I talked to someone earlier this week who's buying a house or bought a house, and whenever this trend happened, that it was just like we are every single room is a shade of cream. I don't know when that happened, but it's horrible.
It's the worst.
Although we photographed a house last week that all of the walls were like orange and red. The living room was green. It is not my personal color preferences, but having to go photograph that that was a challenge. It's sometimes, I will admit, sometimes it is hard to find beauty in everything, which I like to say is a talent that I have. But there's sometimes where you're just like, wow, that green.
Like, no, green is not a creative color.
We went over that a little bit last week, just talking about like there's so many lighting, like stage lighting things will have green LEDs that shine on people, and you're just like, no, like there's nobody looks good with green ever.
Yeah.
I understand, like in the 50s or whatever, when they were trying to push the whole psychological side of there were, green makes you lose your appetite, so buy your wife a green fridge and she'll not eat. But after that, yeah, it's a color that just shouldn't exist, which was silly because I do realize that vegetables are green and avocados are green, and there's some very edible greens, but not a green fridge.
Not a green.
You'll break your teeth.
Oh no. Yeah, I was going over kind of guiding this school on like what to wear for their kind of picture day, and I was just saying, like stay away from neon colors and bright green. Like it just doesn't look great. Jewel tones are fine, like deeper greens are fine and photograph well, and most people will look good in like a nice neutral green, but like that super bright green, like no, pass on that, fan.
Earlier this year, we photographed not this year, late last year. It's already blending together. We photographed a very high-end, very, very high-end real estate group in the Woodlands. And their colors were this dark green. And someone showed up in like this just bright neon green golf shirt, and like ripped up jeans. Again, nothing against bright neon green, but it's not high-end real estate. People were in suits and very luxurious dresses. We were going for a very like Vanity Fair look, and it was this hardcore composite where we took probably 8 different photos of 2 or 3 people at a time and then merged it all together to build one just giant scene of all of these people. And then you've got the one person in the neon green shirt.
Yeah, see, I don't know why they would do that to you.
Mm-mm.
Like wearing bright green shirts for a company trip, that's not that's not the move. Like, I get that it's like, like, yes, it's easily spottable or whatever, but like, do like a bright blue instead, or a bright purple, even pink. Like,
Yeah.
there's just something about green.
Yeah, and if like green is like the company color or something like that, I mean, I get it, but
I get it,
wear
I guess.
wear a complementary color and then have like a logo somewhere so that it matches. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll add that to our prep guides. Typically, whenever someone signs up for a photo shoot with us, we send them out a little prep guide that lets someone know, like, hey, these are some things to look forward to. This is how the process works. Here's some tips and tricks on dressing and what kind of clothes to wear. Don't wear green is going to move right up to the top.
Right up there.
I'm pretty sure that we already have like no neon greens in there, but like
Yeah, we do.
It's going to be top
No
and bold.
no neon colors. Neon colors too, you want to stay away from just because like they won't print very well. And a lot of the work that we do, we want people to print it and hang it up on their walls. And like those really bright colors, often printers will get the color wrong and it'll just look muddy. So better to stick on. And like we're doing all of this hating on green, but like I love the color green. I think it's a very pretty color, and like the greens of trees and stuff. We have like the green grass in the house, beautiful. Big fan of green, just not in photos.
Yeah, I mean, green killed my family, so I really hate it.
And now I'm trying to think of like what color we would wear on like a company trip. And I think that we would probably just wear bright pink.
Have you ever turned down booking a job? Absolutely. If
Yes.
so, why or why would you? So
Great questions, by
yeah,
the way. Thank
yeah,
you for interacting with us
yeah,
and
that's
asking us these things. It's very helpful.
um,
Yes, yes. We turn down jobs that don't align with our brand standard or that are too boring. No, I'm just kidding. If your job is boring, we'll probably still take it. But like if you give us some red flags as a client, like we are like when we're on the phone or when we're emailing and things like that, like there are certain things to just kind of like look out for. A lot of those things of just kind of like when something sounds too good to be true, like most of the time it is. And so like we've definitely said like, I don't think that we're the best fit, and maybe you're looking for something that we don't provide.
and naturally, there's always the jobs that you turn down because the client doesn't want to pay, or has a friend that'll do it for $30, and can you beat their price or something? And like that's not a world that I want to get into. Even in my design times, I mean, if someone comes and you have a photographer already and you're just trying to beat price, or yeah, a designer, a photographer, and you're just shopping to beat prices, we're not going to be a good fit because one, I mean, I take pride in my work, so I'm not going to just make something really quick. We've had people that are, call and they're like, oh, I want a headshot. It should only take 5 minutes. And you're like, well, yeah, if we don't like play with the lighting and we
Do
don't
anything.
change your poses and you don't do anything, yes, you could technically sit in front of the camera, snap, 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 and be done. I'm not going to be proud of that, so I don't want to do that. And so in situations like that, we do have to say, like, I'm not the person to handle this job. You do have the clients who, like what Red was saying, give you just red flag after red flag after red flag, and then at some point you kind of have to say, like, you know that if we proceed, it's just going to be a headache.
And then we've definitely taken clients that we shouldn't have taken. Those are hard lessons to learn. And then you learn how to say no. And being a business owner and learning how and when to say no is like a really, really important lesson to be learned.
This kind of the main times that we've learned that lesson is when things have that, like, it's too good to sound true, or it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
and someone's like, oh, we want to do all this amazing stuff, and we've got so much money to spend, and they start talking about all the people they know, and little by little things just start to get a little suspicious. And then those have typically been the clients that I don't know, just become the biggest pain. So then at some point you kind of start catching these red flags.
You're like, okay, we're not gonna take this one. We're not gonna fall for that again.
Oh, and still questioning on newborn photography. Newborn photography is one of those things where it takes a special person to be able to, and well, rewind a bit. People who have newborn photography wouldn't be that bad, except that they bring them to you when they're not newborns anymore. So there's that phase where like they're real tiny and small and they just sleep all day and you can put them in all the little cute poses and everything's adorable. And then there's the people that didn't get a newborn photographer and didn't think about it until it's 3-4 weeks out. And then you have a baby that literally just screams for 2 hours while you're shooting them, photographing them. Got to change these words. We just photographed a school today, and I was very conscious of saying photograph as much as possible. But yes.
Yeah, newborns are difficult too, just because everyone thinks that their newborn is perfect and will cooperate, and it's just kind of and they'll still be like, I want to do a newborn shoot. It should probably only take an hour, and I'm just kind of like, no, your kid is probably gonna scream for an hour. Sorry, not sorry. Like, and then we're gonna be here for at least 3 hours. So you gotta work with us here.
Yeah.
So like, if it's a friend of ours, like, yeah, we'll do your newborn thing, but like we'll be able to tell you like, let's do it like week 2.
Yeah. Very, very early, very quick. And even, I mean, those are the kind of shoots where, I mean, we photographed friends of ours, Carla and Agardo recently, and they had their newborn baby, which they were very understanding of the situation. But we go into the shoot with sort of high hopes, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to shoot over here, and then we're going to go do this thing. And 30 minutes in, like, the baby's done. And there's no pushing past that. There's no like, oh, well, we'll just give it a minute and something's gonna, no, like when the baby's done, and that's it.
Done for the day.
Given if you followed our page, like the photos still came out fantastic, but it wasn't the grand high hope vision that you plan for, which, as I said earlier, is kind of my favorite part. You just kind of start building these ideas and how things are going to look and the poses you're going to get, and a lot of times my vision is a lot really wild, and then you get cut short and 30 minutes later, shoot's over. That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon. There's no reason that they shouldn't have named that book that, because that's just the whole everything. Some everything. Clients are just not worth it. The end.
They just aren't.
The inside of the book is blank. That's just all you need to know.
Yeah. It just says it over and over and over again in like different colors and different fonts and different sizes. That would be great. There is a book called Building a Brand Story that I want to read. My mentor, Anami, recommended it. Shout out if you're watching this.
Come on, Anami.
She's too cool to watch our live stream. She's probably doing her own live stream. But yeah, so building a brand story, and it's about like really getting to know your brand as if like they were a person being able to tell a story. And I really like that concept and that idea, and so I want to read it. Yeah, definitely. They should have consulted with us.
Yeah, in marketing and advertising, which I'm a little lucky because I have the experience and a lot of that side of things. They say to kind of imagine your brand as a person, and describe that person 100%. Like, what do they look like? What do they wear? What do they eat? What are these things? Who are they friends with? And that will help you sort of direct your company, and help you learn how to, how to word things. What, if your person is like a sarcastic person like me, you might really hit it off with all your clientele if you have sarcastic jokes or you play around. But if you're, there are those people out there that fit a little bit more in like the eat, pray, love style of marketing. That I'm not. I'm a lot more wild and like, let's create some art, than just like, let's make some fluffy, pretty stuff that hangs on the wall.
Let's make art that hangs on the wall.
Yeah. I
And if it
want to
happens
get
to
messy.
be fluffy and pretty, that's cool too.
Um,
Fluffy like marshmallows.
so anybody who has started watching this and has made it this far, it is starting to be underwater season again. So get ready. That's all I can really say to
Get
that.
ready.
Tell your friends, tell your family. How Houston kind of works. We have March through roughly October as being temperatures that are
Perfect
okay to get in the
season
water.
for swimming.
March might still be a little uncomfortable. We'll see. But like April
Yeah.
through October is underwater season.
Got an underwater photo shoot coming up towards the end of March. So be on the lookout for that. Should be lots of amazing, cool photos. There's just something very, very magical about underwater life. Those are some of my favorite shoots to do, but they are so exhausting too. You don't realize how much it is to swim, like, and even when you're just like going under the water for a little bit and then coming back up and going underwater and coming back up, like it's this whole kind of vibe that you catch, and you ride that wave throughout the whole shoot, and it's amazing. But like at the end of it, you're definitely like pooped. Need some protein and some carbs.
Yep. Yeah, we had a 3 or 4 hour shoot last year that was underwater, maybe 3 hour, and our team basically just passed out in the car on the drive back, and I was not happy that I had to be awake either.
Yeah, because he was driving. He didn't pass out while he was driving. Don't worry.
But I don't know, it's magical to shoot underwater, but it's so limited as far as we have short amount of time in a year to be able to do it, and editing process, and kind of any time that you take, $6,000-7,000 worth of gear underwater, regardless of like how nice the housing is, or if it's underwater housing, it's still a little scary to just drag a whole bunch of money underwater. And also you're dealing with photographing people underwater, which a lot of times we're in like, sometimes they're in Little Mermaid tails or small outfits, and sometimes we are doing giant dresses, which get rather heavy in the water.
Yeah.
So we have like our team there to help make sure that everybody's safe, and if someone, as she learned, sometimes the material starts to come up and over you, and in those kind of cases, you have that little internal panic
You
that can
freak out
happen.
for a minute.
So having a good team that's there to make sure those things don't happen, and that if they do happen, someone's there to get it off of you, and you're not just freaking out underwater.
Shannon was saying that we hold our breaths like champs, though. Chris Pix can hold his breath for longer than I can now.
I haven't breathed through this whole thing yet. Okay, good.
I like to breathe. Breathing is fun. Works well for us most of the time. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't work out so well, I guess.
So, side note, I'm starting to wonder if I actually have some sort of like sleep apnea or something, or just like life apnea, because there's definitely times where I question myself on whether I'm breathing. It used to happen whenever I would go dance. I would kind of joke about how back in the rave days, how I had to be very careful if I danced with a sucker in my mouth because I couldn't have a sucker dance and breathe. And then at some point, like I would like kind of stop dancing and pull the sucker out, and then you're just like, like taking that first breath that you've probably taken in 5 minutes and just not even noticed it. And even lately, I don't know, 10 years or so, I'll sit there at times and all of a sudden just kind of be like, have I been breathing?
I forgot to breathe. Fuck! What have I been doing this whole time?
But I think that kind of thing helps me underwater because my body's just used to not breathing.
Definitely.
We have somebody new in the room. Say hi. If you just got here, say hello.
Thanks for joining us. Pop into the comments. We're gonna be here every Thursday at 6:30, going live, hanging out, chilling.
One other like work thing that I want to discuss real quick. Sign up for a newsletter. We do put out the. I'll get that one to just a second. Or well, Red will probably get to that one in a second. We'll both get to it in a second. The sign up for the newsletter. Red writes really hard. She works really hard to write a newsletter once a month, and we're still growing it. So while we might have like 40 or 50 people who get the newsletter right now, it would be nice if more people saw it.
I work really hard on it. Read my newsletter.
Do it. So how do you handle clients with shyness or low self-esteem? The answer is not tequila. We've learned that one also the hard way.
The answer is sometimes tequila. So we definitely have a rule on set about no negative self-talk. So like you're not allowed to, we'll just do that. You're not allowed to talk negatively about yourself while you're on my set. I will not allow it. I actually wrote a whole blog post kind of about like what do I do if I'm nervous about my shoot, and just kind of like how to kind of like lean into some of those uncomfortablenesses, because once you push past them a little bit, like you get this sense of relief, and you're just like, okay, I can be fully here now. I don't have anything to worry about. Red's here, she's got my back. Chris Pix is here, he's gonna get some great shots regardless of what happens. Like, I know I'm in good hands. And so it's really a kind of a delicate dance that you do, because you don't want to overwhelm anybody, but you don't want to underwhelm them either, and you want your client to know that they are the star of the show and that we are here for them and that they are here for them too. So that's how you can kind of show up in your best way, putting your best foot forward. And when in doubt, when you need to smile naturally, clench your butt cheeks. And you'll break out into a little laugh, and it'll look beautiful, and you will smile. And that is my best tip for everybody out there. If you've ever taken a selfie, if you've ever taken a picture of somebody else and they're smiling like this, just say clench your butt cheeks, and they'll clench them, and then they'll smile, and it'll be great.
On my side of things, a lot of times we'll have that consultation with people and just, if someone is worried about it, discuss like, what are you afraid of? Like, what can we do to make things calmer? Sometimes that's as easy as just like, hey, why don't you put together a playlist of music that you love? And then whenever you get here, we'll hook up your playlist to the stereo, and we'll at least get to like play your music. And like we talked a little bit of one of our clients last week, but they had an anniversary shoot, and they played their playlist, and that song came on that was just like their song, and just to watch them both suddenly, like, they weren't in the room with us. They were somewhere years ago, own world, reliving a moment. Those type of things can help. Sometimes, example like boudoir shoots or things, it's really, we'll go in and kind of be like, what are some things you love about yourself, and what are things that like, you want to minimize a little bit. And just being able to have that that consultation with someone and be able to say, like, what can we do to focus on what makes you the happiest. Um, Personally, I don't like my side profile. That's just how it is. So if I can express that to someone, I know that that person is not going to run off to the side and take the photo that I am self-conscious about. So again, being able to have a little bit of more open, honest conversation helps out a lot.
Definitely. Communicate, communicate, communicate.
That also said, we have still had shoots where sadly we show someone just beautiful photos and they don't like them. And
It's heartbreaking when that happens.
yeah, it's there's the heartbreaking side of like,
Because we see the beauty and we want to be able to show that, like, look at this amazing person that you are. Like, look, it's you. We are so amazed by you. And then they're not amazed by themselves. And it's just like, I wish that you could see what I see.
yeah, I was gonna say there's that side where like you're as a photographer and as a studio, someone comes in to take photos and someone comes back and they're like, I just really don't like myself in any of them. There is that part of you that's a little soul crushed because you worked hard and you thought you did a great job and someone doesn't like it. But then really what's hurting is what she said is just the fact that like I see someone with so much beauty and that like I saw all these angles and shots that were just gorgeous and they don't see it, or they just hear an ex's voice telling them how that isn't good, or they don't look good, or they should have done this better or something. And that is probably, like she was saying, the most heartbreaking side of it.
Um,
And is it
yeah,
time?
we were gonna cut it a little short today. Most of the time we'll be on here for about an hour. I'm going to the museum, so we're going to be ending a little bit early today.
I can stick around for a little bit if someone wants to ask me some more questions.
But yeah, we'll be here until then.
Yeah. Is she coming to pick you up?
Yes.
Okay. She here?
No.
Okay. Well then. Um, I mean, shyness is definitely one of those that I feel like there's this there's this time frame of when I pull out the camera to when someone is kind of like, okay, the camera exists, and that the time frame between the middle varies on different people. But I feel like at first, if someone is very shy, get the camera out, take a bunch of shots. Like, they don't have to be important shots. They don't have to be superposed things. Just take a bunch of shots and get them used to.
What it feels like to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, I have the camera. It's pointed at you. I'm talking to you. We're having direction. Haha, we had a laugh or two. Snap, snap. Tell me something about yourself. Snap, snap. Like, you just kind of. I don't know. It's like giving a shot to a kid or something. You're like, you don't just walk in and jab them in the arm. Like, you give them some fluffy things, ask them some questions, tap them on the shoulder a bit while you give the shot. I mean, there's some distracting techniques that you can do to help break through someone's fear.
And luckily for us, we are pretty personable people, and we're not afraid to be a little silly, so we can kind of get out of like our stuffy roles and kind of get more into who we are, and then that allows people to kind of like open up around us too. I often have ears on set with me, so like automatically people are like, "Ah, oh, you're fun," or like, "Ah, oh, you're a weirdo." Like, okay, let's do something interesting here. So I think that just kind of like being yourself around your clients and not trying to present some false version of yourself is really important, because you're wanting people to be their authentic selves in front of you. And so I think that it's important for you to be your authentic self in front of them as well. I think that's just like honesty, and I think that that's good communication, and I think that that's where real magic starts to happen.
Yeah. And communication as a whole. I personally, like, the reason that I'm a photographer and the reason that I am in the life that I live is because, I see beauty in things. It could be thunderstorm, it can be a sky, it can be rocks on the ground. Like, I'm gonna find something beautiful in it. And sort of in the same thing with people, there's so much beauty in everybody, that
Especially our viewers right now.
yes. But there's so much beauty that it just takes, talk about it. Like, don't, like, if someone has a wonderful smile, if their laugh is great, if there's something there you can, for this is more for like low self-esteem side of things, but communicate with someone and talk about the things that you love about them. The reason that I'm photographing someone from this angle is because, like, there's the little like divot in a chin is catching the shadows. And sometimes you'll mention something that might make them a little extra shy for a second, but then you're like, oh no, like, this is a unique feature that I love, and it helps bring people out of their shell a little bit more. I am not a person to lie to someone. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're like, I don't know. I'm not going to like say a bunch of false things. I'm going to talk to someone and be like, this is the thing that I'm loving in this scene right now, and I just love the way the light is casting through and hitting your shoulders or something. And that's always like, oh, this looks good, and you're like,
yeah, you look great. Let's take that shot now. I think that wraps it up for me. I am going to be heading out of here pretty soon. But thank you all for tuning in. Thanks so much for all of your questions, comments, concerns, all of the things. Thank you for joining us. We will be back here next Thursday at 6:30. We will be discussing other stuff. Remember to tell your friends about our Valentine's Day special. Extra $100 in print credit. Hey, let us give you free $100.
okay.
That's all I got.
And then I'm going to stick around for a second just because I'm here. And we've got another viewer, so if someone wants to say hello, Red is going to take off. Thank God for ring lights. If you don't own a ring light, we do suggest it. And backwards mouse. Okay. So I will just be sitting here until I have an inspiration for a story, or if someone asks me a question.
Talk about the coach.
Oh. So today we went and photographed a school, and we had to go do like their okay. We had to do their sports shot just to show that they had a sports thing. And the basketball coach did not understand what was going on. They, for some reason, they gave everybody basketballs, and we're just supposed to be photographing one photo of the coach coaching. Gave everybody basketballs. All the kids run out on the court playing basketball, and we're trying to, like, now it's like someone let all the cats out, and we're trying to rein everybody in and be like, okay, no, like, we don't need this. We're on a timeline. We had an hour and a half. We had to get back before we had another shoot. And we're trying to tell the coach, and he's just not listening. And the woman who is handling it on their side, the head of the school, was kind of like, hey, coach, like, they only have 5 minutes to get this. We're just get one shot. And he's like, no, I've got this. Like, I know what they want. And then he spaces kids out all over the basketball court and tells me that I need to back up further because he's going to give me what I want. Um, and I'm at this point, like we'd already said, like, all I really want is for you to stand underneath the basketball goal and have like two kids give me like layups. Like, I just need a picture of you coaching somebody. Um, and he's like, no, no, no. I'm going to give you what you want. You go way back over there. I'm going to put everybody out there. And then finally, like, we had to hit that point where we're like, look, like, this is for a magazine, and what you're giving me is not going to work. And he's like, oh, well, like, why didn't anybody just tell me what you want? And I'm like, I told you 3 times. I literally said, I want you to stand underneath the thing, do this bit, and we'll be done. But kind of having someone decide to be very bossy to the photographer about the photographer's job for a magazine that they are not a part of was definitely like a rough part of the day. Sometimes you just have those clients that are, and it's rarely like the client. It's usually like someone that came along, or like an outsider that wants to, have ideas. Yes. Have you ever had to deal with drama amongst family members or coworkers while shooting groups of people? Absolutely. Weddings, that's a huge one. Family members that can't stand each other, don't want to be in photos together. And it's really hard to like, well, especially at weddings, because this is, it's the bride and groom's day, and the last thing you need is for the bride's mom and the bride's stepmom to like hate each other, and now no one's going to be in photos all day. And so you're just kind of like, even just taking photos of crowd photos, and you're like, specifically told they cannot be in the same photos together. And then you're dealing with trying to, this is really for the bride and groom. This isn't about like parents' issues. Like, they're going to look back on this 20 years from now, see these photos, and they want to remember the day. They don't want to have like the censored photos where, okay, well, here's the photo of us dancing where one person's in it, and here's the photo of us dancing with the other person in it, so that we know they were both there. Coworker side of things, not a lot in coworker world. I feel like it's a lot easier to kind of just be like, I don't want to be in this photo with this person. Or the main thing we've had in coworker world was just we had to do headshots for someone that started a new company, and well, they started a new job at a new company, and their coworkers went out and got them drunk right before the shoot, and so the person is just sitting there, glossy-eyed, real goofy grin throughout his shoot. And I don't know if that was like their way of, I don't know, hazing him or something, but someone intentionally got him drunk before going for his headshots. Yeah, I think the biggest like strain on a work shoot that we've kind of run into is more just people who aren't in a role, who have decided that they are now like the creative director, and they are getting to give their insight on a shoot. I used to shoot a lot of roller derby, and like the team shots, and this wasn't so bad, but you have 14 to 16 women who are on a team, who we would do these large team photo shoots, and you're giving direction to someone while someone else and someone else and someone else are all yelling things that they should be doing also. And then you end up with those things that should be like a 10-minute long shoot that now are an hour long shoot, because there's just way too much and you have to kind of be like, okay, you guys go outside, like let me do the thing that I'm good at, which is taking pictures of people and posing them. Um, that is all I have on that one. If the just random because I don't have another question to answer right now. We just ran our ads in 4 different magazines to really push the underwater shoots that are coming up, and all I can say is like I'm super excited. This year should be a fantastic one. We don't have our own pool. We do have access to a pool in San Antonio, and we have access to several pools around town, depending on where they are. So also, if you know anyone in San Antonio that needs a underwater shoot, Shannon, hurry up and build that pool. Um, but I'm really looking forward to some creative shoots this year. Um, I don't know. Okay, so it is 7:30, 7:28. Any last questions before we go ahead and shut down? Visit the website, like us on Facebook if you haven't already. I'm assuming since you're here, you've already liked us. Um, Tell a friend. I don't know. The reason we get to have the job that we love and do the things that we love is because people like you remember us whenever it's time for company photo shoots or party that's happening or someone's getting married. And the things that we love to do the most are when people do not want your average photo shoot. Again, we love light, we love creativity. Um, Shannon has um, Shannon has some photos where we busted water balloons on top of her family's heads. Um, I don't know, like let's make art. That's kind of our whole goal. But on that, um, on that note, we will see everybody soon. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching this later on, feel free to leave comments. We're still going to follow up with some of this. Um, and send us messages. We like hearing from people. I basically love interacting with people as a whole. I mean, it really helps in the social media world. So ask questions, I'll answer them. Ask questions on this one, I'll answer them next week. Who knows? Okay, thank you guys. Have a good night. End it.